down there to talk to. I had to run up. I was talking to them, but let's not say anything crazy for the show.
Man.
Show begins in a second, guys.
When are we doing the show today?
Oh my God!
Right
now? What is up, everybody? Welcome to the pregame show. Let's go! Top-rated sports big app. Honestly, yeah. Flacco the GOAT.
We gotta soundboard that.
In all honesty, I feel like I'm approaching this pregame show the way the Nuggets are likely approaching this game.
Yeah, Adam just literally showed up 1 minute ago. I don't think he knows what we're talking about. It's prime Nugget stuff. Dude.
It is it's the Spurs, guys. Come on, like how much do you want to break this down before the game? Go into the weeds here.
None of us want to be here, if that's what you're asking.
Let's just skip game notes. Actually,
just skip all.
Might as well after that.
Actually, no, we have a great show for you.
No, it's gonna be a great show.
Let's go.
All night from start to finish.
The whole entire time. We're going to talk about. I don't know if you guys saw. We're behind because more topical things have arisen, but. Earlier in the week, Tom Haberstroh of Basketball Illuminati, one of my favorite shows, Wind as well, he came up with a list of all-stars that these MVPs have played with. Very shocking list. Very shocking. We're going to talk about all of that. I'm also, they're playing the Spurs tonight. What have I always said, you guys? The Nuggets need to channel their 2014 Spurs. Where's there a lesson from the 2014 Spurs' last 15 games that we could apply to the Denver Nuggets? Maybe there is. And then later in the show, D-Line's going to make us all rich. He's been on a heater lately as he's quick to tell us all. He's going to be... Actually, last game you were
last
not on.
Last game was
not on a
quite
heater.
cold. If I was on a heater, it's like I was on a heater that then went into a deep Ice Age depression that is ready to make a rebound.
I can't
Let's
wait.
hope.
I'm just surprised you're in this good a mood. It's pleasantly surprising.
Me?
Yeah.
He hasn't talked that much yet. Over here, though, I got Brennan Vogt joining me.
I am happy to be here, unlike some people. One thing, I was taking notes earlier, one thing they could do that the Spurs did is win a bunch of titles.
That would be a good...
That'd be pretty sick.
If they did that one,
Take
it would
that
be
out of their
really
book.
cool. Over here, I got D-Line.
What's up, guys? I am in a good mood. You want to know why?
Why is that?
Just him.
Love that, man. I was really hoping there was something there that would put you in a good mood.
I know. I saw the wanting in all of your eyes. You wanted me to say, because I'm here with the fellas, but you know what?
Not true.
This comes from within.
And then over there, I got the man with the most fire tweets, Harrison Wind.
Wow, I will take that.
You got some bangers lately.
Yeah,
Bangers.
I'll take that. Thank you very much. Thank you. I've been trying to let it loose a little bit,
First of all, you've always let it loose. You've always shot from the hip on
You've
certain...
got a sneaky, spicy streak to you.
Dude, you know what I've actually... There was
I used to be a capital J journalist back in my former
a
life.
former life. You threw that J out the window. It is funny, though. There was a 3 or 4 day period where I had to mute every tweet I had about you. I had a tweet about Jokic at the end of Monday's game where I said something like, my favorite thing is how he can half-ass it till the very last second, turn it on and win. Little did I was talking to my people. I was talking to these people. Little did I know that internet, the Twitter, is for everybody, including not these people. And boy, were they sour about that comment.
Oh, yeah.
And I had to mute it. So now, like, every Jokic tweet I put out, immediate mute conversation, because it's mostly just people complaining. It's really lame.
Yeah.
I can't wait till it's all
It
over.
is lame.
But Harrison, tonight's game. Give us these game notes. Big matchup.
Nuggets in San Antonio. Let's go over the injury report. Friend of the show, Vlatko Čančar, questionable.
Oh, please be back. Please be back.
He is yet to play since coming on the DNBA show. He, of course, was out before that, so
That's right. Thank
calm
you.
yourselves out there.
Careful, dude.
Don't go crazy.
I can't believe how many people tagged him about the curse. What bullshit,
we
you guys.
should have just mentioned it to him.
We probably should
Vlatko,
have.
please don't leave.
Zeke Naji is also still out. He's around 1 week away from getting reevaluated. So maybe we'll get him back soon. For the Spurs, they've got everybody. But Jeremy Sohan, Doug McDermott, Romeo Langford, all probable.
They have everybody, but also they have nobody.
Well, I will get to that.
Keldon
The Spurs come into tonight 16-49. They're 2-8 in their last 10. They've lost 2 in a row. Both those games
So they're desperate for a win.
to the Houston Rockets.
Okay.
Coming off 2 straight losses to the Rockets. They've gone into full tanking mode. I want to read you off their starters from their last game, which are probably their starters tonight. Can you name one player on the Spurs D-line?
Keldon Johnson.
Okay, that's one.
He's scoring 30 tonight.
Good
so
job.
Who
call
else you
out.
got?
Yeah.
On the Spurs, I would have said Jakob Pertl. I know that's
He got
not true
traded
anymore.
at the deadline, yeah.
I would say, is David Robinson still on the
David what?
Robinson?
Oh, Robinson. No, he's retired.
George Iceman Gervin? Is he still around?
Yeah, like Jeremy Sohan.
I just said his name, yeah.
Oh, I love that you think I was paying attention to what you were saying.
Their starters last game, though, Keldon Johnson, Devin Vassell, Charles Bassey, Malachi Branham, Keita Bates-Diop, the tank commander himself.
Oh, my God.
Keita Bates-Diop.
Nuggets are
Revenge
losing this game for sure.
My God. All right. What else?
That's all I got. Cut and dry.
Wow, this might be a 10-minute show here today. This might be really close. The Spurs, if I recall, won 2 games in a row not too long ago. They have since lost 2 games in a row to the Houston Rockets. Man, tank season is so lame. So they beat the Utah Jazz and the Indiana Pacers, which were like impressive wins. And then they lost twice in a row to the Houston Rockets. My God, what kind of Spurs are we getting tonight?
Listen, I know people have wanted to sort of hold the horses on the tanking discussion as much as possible. Let's wait till teams are really tanking. I kind of think the Spurs are really tanking. And so you could say, oh, they're desperate for a win here, but I'm not sure if that's true. I'm not sure.
Here's the real story of the day, D-line. Last game, Jamal Murray was the night. Tonight's the night. Didn't happen at home.
Yeah, I remember. We were here.
Yeah, we were here for it.
Me and Harrison know about this very
I'm
well.
so done talking about the 3-point record. We've
You
talked
really
about
don't even
it.
care?
We brought it up.
No, not really
Harrison's
anymore.
like, do we have to talk about this again next
We've talked
pregame?
about it on 3 straight pregame shows.
Well, we're talking
and
about
postgame shows.
We're talking about it again. It's tonight the night, and if he hits it, is it just like not that cool a moment now? It's not at
will they
home?
stop the game and bring
No, they won't
Kareem
stop. They won't stop the game.
Abdul-Jabbar out?
Yeah, they won't do that one.
Bring Steph Curry out.
I don't know how cool of a moment it would have been outside. I mean, I think
Down 10 points.
Yeah, well, they would have put a. I don't think it would have been would have made the roof collapse, even if it had happened at home. I think it's going to be cool regardless because this is people watching. This is like a longer historical significant. It's cool. Like it's, no Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. They won't stop the game, but beyond that, I still think it's cool. And first question, yes, this is the night. He only has to hit 1.
So he will do it.
I would hope
Yes.
so.
If he doesn't tonight, are you going to be concerned?
I actually hope he doesn't do it tonight so he can do it at home.
He can do it at home.
Yeah.
Concerned? No. About what? That
I
he'll
hope
never
he
hit
doesn't
another 3 again.
even
That
make
he's
one
just in
3
his own
tonight.
head or something.
Well, yeah,
about
but
it.
that he gets out of his head with one more 3. I'll be all right.
Is there something you need to see that you want to see tonight, Vote?
For me, Thomas Bryant is probably what I'm watching. I do still think the backup center minutes, are, you can still view them as up in the air. To me, with each minute they play Bryant and it doesn't work out, the idea of Murray and Gordon on the floor together in the playoffs, a 2-man stagger, sounds appealing. But I get the sense that this team and Malone's preference is being able to trust Thomas for 10 to 11 minutes a night. So he knocked some shots down last game. A couple of them were in garbage time. But does that get him going at all? Because he's just looking for anything to get going.
I like the Thomas Bryant one. Here's another one for you, Wind. If Vlatko plays tonight, or is a go tonight, to me that would make tonight's game much more interesting. Just where does he play?
Oh, for sure. I mean, the one remaining question about this team, I think, over these last 17 games is who do you trust off the bench and who's going to be playing off the bench in the playoffs? I still feel like we don't know the answer to that question. But yeah, to get Vlatko back in the mix would be great. I'm kind of back in on Jeff Green.
Whoa.
Are you back in on Jeff Green at San
Hold on, I
Antonio?
got to make a brand new bacometer. I
No,
won't tell you
I
what
just
it's for.
I'm back on Jeff Green. He's in my circle of trust. Like I'm good with Jeff Green now. If if he's going to be playing a couple minutes off the bench, I would still rather Vlatko play. But if Jeff Green's out there, I don't think it's the end of the world anymore. The one thing I want to see tonight is just a banger from Nikola Jokic. And look, he doesn't need to prove anything to me or anyone at this point in the regular season, but it would be a nice reset of the vibes if he just came out and had a, just statement game.
Can I explain to you something about Nikola Jokic? He cares not for the vibe, for our vibes. He doesn't care. It's not happening. He's not going to give us this game that we want.
That's too bad.
I know it's too bad, but
I really wish. Hold up. On that point, I wish that the Nuggets were sitting on the bench last game when the Bulls fans did the "Let's go Bulls" chant. I wish that they were. You want players to feel ownership of the city, and they move around so much now that I don't think it's true. But I would hope you would feel ownership for your arena and be like, "Man, this sucks. Why did we let this happen?"
I'm sure that they're like, this sucks. And then they left. And we're like, this is the most devastating thing that's ever happened to me. The place I grew up means nothing.
And I wonder if they're sitting there and they're more like, man, these fans suck tonight. It's like, well, you gave them down 20 to a terrible team.
I'm sure that's it. Like,
they're like, you guys in the crowd really let us down.
Yes.
There was zero exciting moment. The most exciting play of the entire game was Jamal Murray's missed dunk. The crowd for a half second stood up and went crazy. And
that was the ceremonial end of the game.
Yeah, like, oh, God damn.
The start and end of the game.
Kyle Speller got half of a
Is there something you want to see tonight?
I was telling Brendan and Harrison before, while you were downstairs gallivanting, whatever it is you were up to, that I am officially, henceforth, resetting my expectations on the Denver Nuggets for the rest of this season. I allowed the non-showing that they gave us last game. I allowed I took it too personally. Had too many high expectations, and disappointment is really just expectations not met. So I know that this team is good. I know from experience now that this is exactly what the Avalanche went through last year. It's impossible, or at least it's very difficult to motivate yourself to play your best basketball, your best sport, when there's really nothing left to prove. And that's kind of where they're at. Luckily, they're going up against a team who has no desire to win. So, I mean, I would love, as Wynn says, I'd like to see Jokic looking crisp. Like, even if he doesn't put on a full Jokic clinic, put 40 points on, do that thing. I just want to see, like, the glimmer of the Nuggets that I know is there, and then they can take the rest of the night off.
And I just want a quick reminder that they're still there.
Yes.
And they said as much after that game. Now, I don't think they can get up there and really say, look, man, it's March, we don't care. Like, Draymond can say that. They can't.
Yeah, it's true.
But there is something to, Jokic said on record, no, these games still matter. We want to be in good rhythm entering the playoffs. And so this is going to sound harsher than I mean it, just in a matter-of-fact way. If those are the words, you'd like to see them play that way as well, Go out and finish strong. I don't think they need to hurt themselves, overextend themselves, but there is something to, I think, taking pride in the four quarters in front of you in the meantime.
Well, there you go. Let's move on to our next topic, which is Denver is in San Antonio tonight. And it reminds me of the team that I've always comped this Nuggets team to and said if they ever win a title, it's going to be because they're going to be like the 2014 Spurs. Well, I was sitting here thinking, and we did a roundtable today, and I was thinking, what's one of the questions we keep asking each other? What do you need to see from the Nuggets from here on the rest of the season? Is there anything they have to do, accomplish, whatever? And I think the right answer is no. But if we were to make a yes, the one thing that I do think is most important from them, I know a lot of people will say defense and this or that. I don't know if they play good defense now, if it means they will be good defensively in the playoffs, and I don't know if they play bad defense now, if it'll mean they'll be good. I don't know if that has a correlation. The thing that I do think has a correlation is how well do you find a rhythm? And if you guys recall, like I do with this 2014 Spurs team, they were number one in the West with 62 wins. But why were they number one in the West? Well, they lost a game on February 21st and did not lose a game again until April 3rd. They went undefeated in the month of March.
Wow.
Undefeated in the month of March. And they won, by the way, by a lot. 19-game win streak. They won the one seed by a lot. But more to the point, it wasn't about the wins, which I don't care about with Denver as much. What I care about is when they got to the playoffs, that was a well-oiled machine from a connection standpoint. To me, them and probably the 2015 Warriors. Was it 15 that won the first title or 14? 15. Yeah, it was 15. 16 was the Cavs. 15 Warriors, that first Warriors year. Those two teams are the most connected teams I've ever seen. Ball popped, shared brain. They just got into a rhythm. And I don't think it's a coincidence that they had a 19-game win streak right before the playoffs. That was a team that was good at the beginning of the year, really good in the middle, great at the end, and phenomenal in the playoffs. And it was a clear ascension in their chemistry. To me, that's the only thing that when Denver has games like against Chicago, whatever, I don't want to see them go far away from ball is popping. In fact, I would actually like them win or lose to maintain that and even improve it going into the playoffs, because that's how you become the unbeatable team.
Yeah. I was told by all the nerds that what you do in the stretch run doesn't translate to the playoffs.
I think there is truth in that when you talk about wins,
Take that,
losses,
nerds.
or
Yeah.
whatever. Look, obviously it's not a 1-to-1, and I'm not saying this is why, but that
For
team,
sure.
But that team moved the ball so well. They were in such a rhythm, and for
Yeah.
them at least, I do think it was a thing they built towards.
Yeah, definitely. And that's why, like, look, you're going to have letdown games when you're leading the Western Conference by 7 games at this point in the season, and you've done all your work. Like, look, the Nuggets went out and accomplished their job this regular season. They did what they were supposed to do. They're going to win the West going away, and you can say that, with 17 games left. That's a heck of an accomplishment. But you just don't want the bad habits to pile up. You just don't want a lot of games like that Chicago game. You just don't want those bad habits to creep back in. I agree. I would love to see them keep building towards something
Yes.
entering the playoffs.
This is why I was so upset last game. Like, they are at a place where they need, like, in my opinion, the job not done. Job done? Job not done.
Not done.
They have to, and like now they literally have a target on their back. They've not ever really had a target on their back outside of just people wanting to, I guess humble them for having the best player of all time on their team. But now people are actually gunning for the Nuggets. We always talk about how we want the national media to pay attention to the Nuggets. This is what it is. It sucks.
I actually don't want that anymore.
Yes, anymore. But that's the idea of DNVR. It's like, man, they never talk about the Nuggets. Now they talk about the Nuggets. I'm like, shut up, leave us alone.
So true.
It's like, get lost. This is what this is like. It's miserable. But to that end, I want them to then rise to the occasion. I want them to quiet the haters, to make people feel embarrassed to talk about Nikola Jokic in terms that are beneath him as our king. I want there to be absolutely no doubt what this team has in them and what they can accomplish. And it was so, for me, demoralizing to see them just be like, what are you going to do? And I'm like, no, man, you guys aren't this team. You don't have this pedigree. You don't have this luxury. You need to complete the act of this rising up from the ashes and from the team that no one will pay attention to actually deserve the attention that you're getting. And when you deliver a bloodless, lifeless performance like you did last time, it just makes people like Kendrick Perkins look like he knows what he's talking about. And it's, in my mind, it's unforgivable. But I've decided to reset my expectations.
On February 10th of that year, the Spurs lost to the 22-29 Detroit Pistons.
That's our Bulls
But
loss.
That is our. I mean, it honestly is the exact team of the Bulls
Yeah.
where they were with a losing record in a different conference.
But Eric, I think if that's essentially an isolated incident or only something that sort of peppers and pops up here at the end, then that's one thing. You just don't want to see it be every game
Right,
from
yes,
here to
yeah.
the finish. I do think what you guys are talking about, excuse me, matters more for Michael Porter Jr. than maybe anyone else, who for 2 months has been playing great process basketball. In that Bulls game, I thought it was terrible from the jump from him. It's really not. Some people say, it's just about his three-point shot making. I don't think that's true at all. And I think in that Bulls game, he was doing all the little stuff so terribly. Now, that can be a good thing if that serves as a reminder of here's what works, here doesn't. Let's get back after it. But I think he's a guy who's been so locked into doing things the right way that you don't want the whole environment here to be like, these games don't matter. I think you want to enter the playoffs with him locked in.
Yeah,
it's not coming though this week. I'm just.
I know,
I
I
hope
know.
they win tonight.
I know.
But after this, then they come home and then they go to the East Coast. And I'm telling you, I think we do get 1 or 2 or maybe 3 more Bulls games in the next 2 weeks.
I'm expecting
Then
that.
they play the Bucks and the 70s. Would you take, if it was a trade-off, a couple of lulls right there, but then they're locked in for the Bucks, 76ers, Suns.
No question.
Obviously.
I mean, no question. But I don't know that's what's going to happen in the moment. I only know that I just saw a terrible game from the Denver Nuggets, the team that we need to see a lot from at this point to prove that they are who we think they are.
Ball is popping, play connected. To me, that's how Denver's going to win.
Yes.
They need to get their defense needs to be better in the
Just
playoffs
play the
than what it
right
was.
way, man.
But that ball is popping. I want to see the Nuggets with 35 plus assists, 5 games in a row, where you're like, they're in such a rhythm, no one can knock them out.
The first 6 minutes of that game, by the way, that's what they looked like.
That is
against
what
the
they look
Bulls.
like. Yep, and they
then
fell out of it. And I
they
think there's
fell out of
something
it.
to them falling out of it and Jokic playing the way he played.
Sure.
I think a sneaky thing that happened in that game was Jokic was a little bit like, they're not doing it tonight, so why am I? And they just kind of a punting on it.
Those 6 threes.
Let's shoot threes.
So I'm going to shoot a bunch of threes because
Dude,
what's
that
the
was
point?
what was last game?
I think there was some bad process. And look,
What
let's
was
not
the-
revisit it too much. I do wonder if there was a little bit of we're trying to get Maurice a three. He's not hitting it,
Of
and the whole
course.
offense just went to shit.
Yeah,
Jokic was
I
like-
think that's what
Yeah,
I
happened.
Jokic
think
was
it's what happened.
Yeah.
Jokic was like, "F it, I'll set the record."
That's why I don't think it was indicative.
See how easy this is, Jamal?
Yeah, God, just shoot it, dude. I went out of order, Kill. I apologize. We got to go backwards here and go to All-Star Teammates, which Tom Haberstroh of the wonderful Basketball Illuminati podcast, he had a graphic he put together the other day that looked at the All-Star Teammates various MVP candidates have had. If we go to the very top of this list, you have All-Star, Defensive Player of the Year, or All Defense, and then you have All NBA. So the three various awards. Magic Johnson, look at that. Could barely fit all of them in. What do you know? He played with another top 5 player all time. And what do you know? He's an all-timer and MVP winner. Larry Bird, same thing. Played with multiple Hall of Famers in their primes. And here he is, Kobe Bryant, Karl Malone. We go all the way down to the bottom, and we have 2-time NBA MVP winner Nikola Jokic. Right above him is Kevin Garnett, and I got to give Kevin Garnett a shout-out. Do you guys know the two players that were All-Stars?
Oh, they're hard to get. Is Wally Zerbiak?
Wally
one of them?
Zerbiak is one
Yeah.
of them. D-Line, you know the other.
Paul Pierce?
Nope.
Not a what?
This was in the first 8 seasons
First
of
eight,
his
so it's a
career.
Minnesota
Oh, so it
team.
was it?
You're not going
from
to get it.
Minnesota.
Tom
Yeah.
Gugliotta.
How'd you get Wally Zerbiak? That's a hell
I
of a
think he
pull.
listened to
I
the pod.
listened to the episode. Yeah.
Tom Gugliotta was the other one. So they're not even real All-Stars. Those are like fake, East is bad this year, we got to get somebody in All-Stars. I say all this to say there's been a lot. I'm so sick of the Jokic discourse that I almost don't even care about these things. But I do look at this and I go, NBA history is written as all history is by the winners. And winners are created by super teams. Usually it's organic. More recently, it's by self-created. But when you look at something like that, to me, it actually does tell an important story.
That Denver's a poverty franchise.
That's a bad way of putting it, but it is.
No, this is the Nuggets show.
Yeah, it's a Nugget show, so you'd say it.
I mean,
Is
I
there a
just
way to
think
spin
it
that?
it adds to Nikola Jokic's greatness.
It did,
is
absolutely.
what it does.
No, it's truly. I mean, it shows that he truly has been a one-man army, and has had no, has had no reinforcement. We know this. We watched it the last couple of years. We described it as being in purgatory, not having players that are worthy. I mean, he has at least 2, maybe 3 players that could get garner some of that.
According to
hardware
Eddie Johnson,
moving forward.
Suns analyst, the Nuggets have 4 All-Stars.
Yeah, the whole starting lineup, actually.
Oh, really?
I think this is line 1 in the case for Jokic's greatness in this era, this span of years, the first 8 years of his career. To me, I saw some people like, oh, this is
What are you doing?
I
Adam?
can't do
Do you know
this.
we're live?
It's so much.
We're doing a show. Did you know that?
It's not reaching.
Couldn't
it's
make it 5 more minutes.
It's essential context. It's essential context for what has been so impressive about what Jokic has done. And obviously, we believe in this starting lineup, which is maybe built in a sort of throwback way of like it adds up to more than the sum of its parts, right? It's a great fit. But it is the case that he's never had an all-star teammate, let alone an all-NBA teammate. And that is how you win championships in this league. It is the difference between guys who have never won and who eventually win. I hope that the way it shakes out for Jokic is that they win first, and then these guys get stamped winners and the accolades.
Yeah.
That is the better way. Here's the thing, though, about NBA history. Magic Johnson's obviously one of the all-time greats, but he joined Kareem Abdul-Jabbar immediately, and I just makes
Scared
you
of the
wonder.
grind.
No.
Scared of the grind,
It
Magic.
happened organically. But it just makes you think the equivalent of joining Magic Johnson your rookie season would be Jokic joining LeBron James his
Yeah,
rookie season.
it's true.
And then
Yeah.
you sit there and go, if LeBron in 2015 came to Denver for some reason and had just been here since because he wanted to be, how many championships would the Nuggets likely have?
All
At
the
least
available-
one.
You would think a lot, but there's another.
Then there's James Worthy, by the way,
scenario
also.
where Nikola Jokic develops into like Pero Ontic with LeBron here.
My point is more just talking about the
You're-
talent.
you're
like
probably
the
right,
history of these things is often if you get paired, if 2 top 10 all-time players get paired together, they're probably going to win.
Yeah.
And that's my whole point
Yeah.
is, and then if you don't, like Kevin Garnett to me is one of the players who's most underrated by history. Absolutely dominant, versatile, intense, great teammate, fits with every type of player. And he played in the worst era of Timberwolves basketball where they just never got their act together for him. And as a result, he's thought of well because he went to Boston and won. But as like him and Tim Duncan, to me, should not be thought of as far apart as they are. And I'm not trying to take anything away from Tim Duncan, but like watching them together, they both dominated. One had a good culture, a good team, and one had a horrible culture.
Yeah.
And these graphics like this just make you realize how much, at the end of the day, only one thing really matters. Did you win or not?
And that's prevalent in the NBA more than any other sport. I mean, how the NBA has progressed and just how we talk about the NBA, especially this season. The only thing that matters is the championship, and nothing else really is even worth talking about. I mean, it is for us, but just like regular season doesn't matter. We're at a point where MVP doesn't even matter. You know,
It's terrible.
it's just where we are.
Let's open up the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Eric, just give us your bets. We don't need the
Okay.
we just
all
need
right,
the
right.
bets.
Okay, bets. All right. I am taking Jamal Murray over 2.5 threes for reasons that should be obvious.
Man, how confident. This is not a lock, though.
It is a lock.
That's your lock?
Yeah, he's getting this. I'm also taking. They have the new thing where you can do head-to-head.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm taking
new
Michael
feature.
Porter Jr. to have more than 1.5 more threes than Keldon Johnson.
Wow. More threes. 1.5 more.
What a bet.
More.
I've never made this bet, but I'm
no,
into
me
it.
either. It was all they had was all the Nuggets versus Keldon Johnson.
I like it. I'm in. I'm into it. For
I'm
some
Well,
taking
he is
Mike-
the one player you knew.
I'm taking Michael. Well, that's why I knew.
Yeah.
Michael more 2 threes more than Keldon Johnson. I am also taking the Denver Nuggets -4 in the first quarter.
Man, I just opened to that before you even said it.
They're,
I was like, I
they're
want to
co-
take
dude,
it.
that
They're coming out
sucked.
so motivated.
That sucked, and they knew it. So I'm taking 3. I feel great about all of those. And then I have a same game parlay
Oh,
put
let's
together
go.
that I feel very good about.
Okay.
Does not involve Reggie Jackson, so we can be feel confident in it. I'm taking 2 Cantavius Caldwell Pope steals. I believe this will be
Cantavius.
yeah,
Wow.
a little bit of a sloppy game. A man like Cantavius can take advantage. And I'm taking 2 Jamal Murray 3-pointers made
Wow.
and
This one
3
feels reckless.
3 Jokic rebounds in the first quarter. All 3 of those together will net you
Where
plus
do you get that?
265.
First quarter is in rebounds.
Yes,
3.
It's at the bottom of the rebounds. In 3 in the first quarter.
Plus
I just
265.
I don't
Okay.
trust Jokic bets tonight because I'm not positive he'll be in for his last stint. This could be and
Yeah,
should be a
it's
game where the
pretty
starters.
impossible to bet on
there
his
should be
full numbers.
garbage time in this game, so that's why I have like a lot of like weird slanted bets that rely on the early parts of this game.
Is there any chance Michael Porter Jr. hits 4+ threes tonight?
Absolutely.
There's always a
Yeah,
chance.
especially if Keldon Johnson hits 2. He'll have to outdo him.
You're hilarious, man.
You're right. I'm already in on one bet for him. I might as well not make it. You know what? F it. I'll go with it. 3-point frenzy. And San Antonio is always a tough place to play. Wasn't it like 18 games straight Denver had lost in San Antonio?
Yeah, that
Times have
was
changed.
back in 2018, 2019 when Nikola Jokic in his first playoff appearance came within a couple seconds of going to the Western Conference Finals.
All right, we got 3 super chats that came in. Let's hit those, Kale. Ryan says, first night of legal DraftKings in Massachusetts. That's right. First night of
Yes,
betting
sir.
along with
Let's
you
go.
boys. No pressure, Nugs all day. I hope you made some money for the
Yo,
boys
Ryan,
in Boston.
this is not a game I would be eager to bet on. I
Yeah,
have to
rough
say.
first game. But
You know what? But when you get when the host turns on for the first time, come on, man.
you
I know.
gotta-
I'm just
yeah,
saying.
you
I'm just
gotta
saying.
dip into it.
This
You
one
gotta
I feel
do
a
it.
little. I feel a little weird about this.
This
one.
is called reckless gambling. Let's go, Minute Massachusetts.
It's called gamble responsibly and at your own volition.
Sasha says, I want to thank DNVR Bar and Eric for coming to the table to chat last game. Thank you, Eric. Dev, Harrison, and Kale for letting me come upstairs to talk and take a pic. Made my trip to Denver unforgettable. Guys, awesome, Sasha. Good job, Eric.
Listen, I'm
You
a man of the
guys-
people. I'm a man of the people. I
guess
go
you're
around.
right.
I
yeah,
will.
man. Thanks for coming.
When I go downstairs, and if you've told the wait staff that you, for some reason, want to talk to one of us, I will come up. I will eat some of your food if you're not watching. I'll be your friend.
Still your girl.
I'll steal your girl. Sasha, our homie from Canada,
Yeah.
came down to see the Raptors game.
Did not
has
steal his
family
girl.
in Serbia. We had a lot of things to talk about. Then I brought him upstairs, and then I told him he was the reason that the Nuggets lost in such a fashion. Told him he's not allowed back. Sorry, Sasha. One and done.
Sasha Nikolic? Who knows?
We're all a little
Sasha
Serbian.
comes back. He says, also, Jokic 30-point triple-double by the end of the third. Sits fourth in a blowout. LFG.
That would be my statement game.
Yeah, let's
that
go.
would classify.
You can't make a statement game. I'm telling you against the.
there's
Spurs.
no
Well,
statement.
it would be just a statement for us.
What's
They're like
the,
the Nuggets,
for me personally.
The Nuggets won by 50. The statement is they're an NBA team.
Here's a real question. What's the most points Jokic could score without being in the first block on SportsCenter tonight?
45.
45 points. He's still second block.
To lead SportsCenter, he needs 50.
He needs 50 to
he
lead
needs
SportsCenter. 45 against the Spurs. It's like
To lead SportsCenter,
Yeah.
he needs 60.
Oh, to lead? I thought we were just talking
First block.
first
I'm just
block.
being
What?
first
He's
block.
gonna get 50
If
and someone
Jokic,
else
Tail end of the
if
first
Jokic
block,
got his
47,
first block
48.
tonight, he would lead. He
Someone
would lead
else will
towards
score
SportsCenter.
71
If
points.
if he blocked a shot.
Thanks everybody for hanging out with us. Hit the like button. We'll see you after the game.
Block.